Bitcoin and Ethereum are currently dumping, and we're also going to cover the limit orders that I have that are currently about to fill potentially, and so many more interesting things, and where we are likely to find a bounce. So if this sounds interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. So first of all, Bitcoin is trading around 104.5, and we broke down from this symmetrical triangle that I covered in yesterday's video. So we broke to the downside, which is of course a bearish sign, and we went all the way down to around 103, actually below, and right now we are bouncing, but I do think we could come down even lower before bouncing to the upside. And the most important level, in my opinion, to get above is the 110.6, 113.4, and of course this previous high in the market at 116,000. And it looks like we down all the way to the 50 simple weekly moving average. But I do think we could go to the 54 SMA, which is below the 50 simple weekly moving average. And as you can see over here, we can also wick below as long as we close above the 50 simple weekly moving average. I do think we could come down to around 100,000 before going to the upside. However, I do think we could see a bounce from the 54 SMA and bounce to the upside as we saw over here and over here. However, if we break below, things could get dangerous for Bitcoin, and we could potentially enter into a bear market as we saw in last cycle. Went down, went up to confirm the breakdown before entering into a bear market. And the global empty money supply is also indicating prices at roughly 140,000, so that's also why I think we could see high prices. However, I don't think we necessarily have to see a new all-time high, but at least a bounce to the upside before then seeing lower prices. Of course, we could enter a massive pump to the upside and see new all-time highs. That's of course possible, but I think it's likely that we see a pump to the upside and then potentially enter into a bear market. And we have this symmetrical triangle on Ethereum, and we are also currently breaking down, which is of course a bearish sign. And we went all the way down to 3,467. And we are currently finding support around this level over here. But of course, if Bitcoin goes lower, I do think Ethereum could go lower as well and potentially find support around 3.4 in my opinion before bouncing to the upside. And the crypto market is currently in extreme fear, and we don't want to panic sell, but things are looking dangerous, of course, in my opinion, and that's why I have limit orders at 102.5 and 100,000, because I do think we could find a bounce, at least in the short term, before then potentially entering into a bear market. So I have limit orders at 102.5 and 101,000, so I do think we could find a bounce around this level and then go to the upside. So of course I put my money where my mouth is, so that's why I have limit orders at this level. And if you want to trade yourself, you can check out Weex, because currently you can get 20% bonus available on your deposit, and you can secure your account by linking phone number and email to get 10 to 100 coupon, and also up to 800 USDT futures bonus with this specific link down below. So you can check that out, and link will be down below. And I do think we could go even lower for Bitcoin. I think we could potentially go all the way down to 98. So we have some resistance around this level over here at 98 approximately. So we have some support over here, resistance here, resistance, and then massive levels over here. So I think could potentially go down to 98 before going higher. And then my orders will get filled, of course, but that will not be the perfect entry. But I do think we have some massive support here also at around 101,000, and that's why I have limit orders at 101,000 and 102.5. So I do think we could come a bit lower here and grab the downside liquidity before entering higher prices potentially. And the same goes for Ethereum. And we also have the 54 SMAs, and that's a bit lower here than the 50 simple weekly moving average. And that's why we could argue that we come down even lower to around 100,000, wick below, and then bounce back to the upside. And don't forget to drop your thoughts down below what you think is going to happen. And this was just a quick Bitcoin update video because we are currently dumping massively. And if you're interested in trading, you can check out the Weex tutorial that I published today. So you can check out that popping up on the screen right now. And thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow morning. Bye bye.